All right, leaders, thank you for hanging out. So our segment is going to be all about Summit. I'm not going to drag on and on and on because there's plenty of videos and all that kind of stuff. And Chelsea posted one inside the team chat we have going on with Summit. So if you are in that, go check out that link. The Team Beachbody guys put out their own little video about just FAQs. So they cover a lot of stuff in there. Being a 5-time Summit goer myself, I just wanted to share a few insights based on the craziness that's going to go on. So number one is flights. If you've never flown before, you want to be to the airport about 2 hours early before your flight leaves. That depends on the time of day, because I've taken like 4 a.m. flights, and I've also taken like noon. I've taken a midnight flight. So obviously the early morning and late nights, I've been in and through security in like 10 minutes, and all of a sudden it's like I have an hour and a half to kill. So you kind of want to play with your timing. So for example, Chelsea and I booked the same flight. It's her first time flying. So we're going to be departing at 11 a.m. So that's going to be kind of rush hour. I know for I-5, which is a big freeway up here, it's going to be rush hour. So we're going to have to plan around that, leave early. But for us, leaving at 11, we want to be there at about 8:30 or 9 at the latest. That way it gives you plenty of time to go through security, check your bag, all that kind of stuff. So if you've never flown before, just once you get through security, go to your gate. There's usually food courts and all this kind of stuff. And my biggest thing with that is start taking pictures in the actual airport. Start promoting this stuff, guys. Summit is a huge event that, I mean, you are going to have a fire lit under your ass that you have never experienced before. I've been to 5 summits. Every single summit, I get some type of huge fire under my butt. You get something different each time, especially this time that it's going to be 25,000 people. That's hard to even imagine, because our last 2 summits were about 9 or 10,000. So we have over double what I've seen. So it's going to be a new experience for me as well. The thing that's going to be most different, I think, about this summit, aside from the numbers, we have 25,000. A big difference is going to be the fact that the last 3 years we've been in Vegas, and we've been at the MGM hotel and arena. So everything is right at the MGM. We have all of our workshops. We have the trainer workouts. We have everything right in the MGM. Your hotel is right there. So you never had to leave. But with this one, it's in different parts of the city. So I'll get to transportation a little bit down the list. But as far as flights, just show up early, get through security, go to your gate, kind of get a feel for how much time you have left. Your flights will start booking about 30 minutes ahead of time. So you want to make sure you are at your gate at least 30 minutes before your flight time, because you do not want to miss that flight. So aside from that, flights are pretty basic. Pack. Most of you, this is going to be your first time. I severely overpacked all my summits except for last year. My first 4 summits, I packed so much crap that I never even touched. So you want to just bring the basics. So count how many days you're going to be there. So I know a lot of us are going to come in on Wednesday. We're staying Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then flying out Monday. So really that's like 4 workout outfits. I do extra workouts on top of the trainer workouts, because I like to do my daily weightlifting. So if you plan on doing weightlifting with me, you guys are obviously more than welcome. I'll just find a local gym or something like that. We'll all get passes. So bring 4 workout outfits, socks and underwear. Don't forget those, please. And I think that's kind of it as far as like your main thing. You don't have to dress up. I know the biggest thing you always see in these coach groups is everyone's like, oh my gosh, what's everyone wearing to the workshops? What's everyone wearing to this and this and this? You guys are going to see people dressed in workout clothing the entire time. You're going to see people dressed up in tuxes and suits. You're going to see people dressed up in like prom ball gown dresses. You're going to see people just wearing like jeans and t-shirts the whole weekend. Just wear what's comfortable. Keep in mind, it's going to be really, really freaking humid. I know for us up in the Northwest, we have clear blue skies and like 20% humidity. So we have really crisp air. I know over there, it's going to be like walking through a sweat box the entire time. So probably don't want to be layered up too much, but for the most part, wear what's comfortable. Bring a pair of jeans. I could tell you for me, even like the big celebration parties and all the fancy stuff that people wear nice clothing to, I always just wear a pair of jeans and a button-up shirt. That's it. That's what I'm comfortable in, and no one is going to care what you're wearing, so don't spend too much time worrying about that. So number 2 is going to be event itself. The event itself is broken down into basically 4 different sections. You have general session, workshops, workouts, and the after parties. So general session, I think there was two or three of those. See, this is going to be a little bit new experience for myself too, because we've never had to do the tracks before. It was like last year. I know why they're doing the tracks, because last year was nuts. We had, I remember the general session wasn't too bad, but the workshops, it took you 20 or 30 minutes to get into the workshops because of the lines. So I know why they did the tracks this year, just to cut down the craziness, especially with 25,000. That's just nuts. I know one thing they're doing too is, instead of you going to a workshop A, for example, and that workshop's done and then workshop B is down the hallway, instead of you getting up and leaving and crowding the hallway and going to the other one, everyone stays in that track building. So you just stay seated and the speakers are the ones moving, which is going to cut down a ton on those hallway jams that we experienced last year. So with that, real quick, you're going to find times of being frustrated at the lines. You're going to find times of, just whatever your pet peeves are, you're going to find people that produce them. Last year, one of our biggest issues, especially Jason and I caught on to this because we had been to three summits before that. Last year was number 4. Oh wait, last year was number 5. So we went to 4 summits before that, and they were smaller summits. We only had 1 to 5,000, and being smaller, it was more intimate. People were more positive. People were excited. But last year, being so packed in a lot of situations, there was a lot of negativity. You can hear it when people are standing in line. You can hear all that kind of stuff. Not going to be allowed to bring outside water into the field. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I'm sure they'll have like $5-6 bottled water in there or something like that. So when it comes to the whole, what's that?
Sorry. They said in the video that I was watching that they're going to have limited water available.
Okay.
You can also purchase bottled water too. So
okay. That's probably going to be like $12 for a bottle of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it sucks because I know it's not Beachbody it does that. It's the actual arena that's doing it. I'm just happy they got the bag situation taken care of, because originally we weren't going to be able to bring bags in, which would suck for us staying at a house that's 20 or 30 minutes away, because we're going to pack our bags in the morning and pretty much we might go in and out of the house throughout the day if we have time. But yeah, I'll get to that stuff in a minute. So going back to like the negativity thing, we saw a lot of it. And it was even to the point where I think it was Michael Neiman was on stage at the big arena where everyone was at. And I think they even brought something up about the negativity that was going on. So one thing to remember is, you, just like in our daily lives, you have the potential to be that positive influence on somebody. It's the exact same thing. Even though we're all coaches at the summit, these are still real people with real problems. So you just keep a smile on, keep a positive attitude. Just remember where you're at. Because I know for me, I've fallen in the rut sometimes where I'm waiting in a line. I find myself going, oh, why can't they just open the doors already? And then I have to stop and think, you know what? I'm at Summit. I've been waiting all freaking year for this. I'm going to just do what I can right now. So that brings me to my next thing is, use Summit to meet people. That's one of the best parts about Summit, is not the workshops. It's not meeting Tony Horton and those guys. One of the best parts about Summit is connecting with your other coaches, hearing their stories and just gaining tips from those guys. Just like Jimmy Nelson, who's, one of the top guys I follow. Jimmy Nelson shared on stage in Dallas, and he's like, you know what? Some of the best tips and trainings I've ever received from Beachbody were not at any of the corporate events. They were at the bars afterwards. by connecting with other coaches, because that's where they start to share about their journey, their story, what works for them. So especially when you're waiting in lines and that kind of stuff, turn around, introduce yourself. Get out of your comfort zone, talk to people, meet with people. These are already Beachbody coaches. You don't have to worry about, how am I going to sell a Success Club pack to these guys and blah, blah, blah. You don't have to worry about that stuff. They've already enrolled. Just be you. And here's the coolest part. When you walk into Summit, most people don't know you. They don't know who you are. They don't know your struggles. They don't know your weaknesses. Be who you want to be. Walk into Summit tall and proud. I mean, this is stuff you can do on a daily basis. Literally, when you're done with this call, you can just have a switch that goes off and just be who you want to be. If you want to be confident and an extrovert, start doing it, because through practicing it is when you actually start to become it. You can't just wait around and be like, whoa, I can't wait for the day that I can actually be goofy and not care what people think. That day's going to be nice. No, that day never comes if you wait. You have to initiate it. You have to start it. Be it now. So I think that got off track there. Going back to event, I'm following my whiteboard so I actually stay on track. So general session is going to be the big one. That's where we're in the LP field. General session is friggin' awesome. I think general sessions are probably one of my favorite parts of Summit. The workshops are great and you learn from the top coaches, but general session is where they bring in the guest speakers. We have Simon, I don't remember how to pronounce his last name. Sinak, that's right. So we have Simon. I actually have never heard of the other guy. So I haven't read any of his stuff. There's one other guy. So we're going to have 2 guest speakers, and those guys usually do like an hour and a half each. I know we had Darren Hardy last year, and holy crap, Darren was awesome. Love Darren Hardy. So we had Seth Godin before that. Oh no, last year wasn't Darren Hardy. That was
yeah, it was.
Was it Darren?
It was Darren Hardy and the lady that swam from Cuba.
Oh, okay, that's right. See, after 5, they kind of start to intertwine with each other. So yeah, I was thinking of the swimmer. So we've Darren Hardy came on twice. That's what threw me off. We've had him 2 different years. 2012, I believe he came again too. So anyways, we have 2 guest speakers, and Carl Deichler gets on stage and shares a bunch. This is the general sessions is where they launch new products. So we already know that we have size coming. What's the one I just saw a picture of? I'm pretty sure one of the things they're doing is they're recording workouts just for on demand. I saw a picture and it had Shalene Johnson tagged in it, and it was something about recording a new workout for demand. So I was thinking about that too, because you know how in the beginning when we came out with on demand, they said we're going to launch new programs on it each month. But what happens when they run out of programs to put on there? They have to record new ones. And now they're not going to have to go through the distribution of creating a workout to put on DVD. They can film it and upload it right away. So I'm going to call it right now that the other big announcement is they're going to start recording workouts just for on demand, which is pretty freaking sweet. That thing, I still can't believe it's only $40 for 3 months of that stuff. That's just crazy. I'd pay $40 a month for that. So general session, awesome. That's the big one that we go to. I haven't checked the official agenda yet, so I don't know if they have general sessions on each track or if we're going to do one big one with all the coaches. I'll have to double check that. So second part of Summit is obviously the workshop. So they take the top, there's 250 or 300 elite coaches. So they take the top elite coaches, break them up into groups, and they teach you about different stuff like overcoming objections, how to sell Shakeology, how to do this and this and this. So that's where there's usually 3 on Friday, 3 on Saturday, and they're all back to back. The chairs are, at least in the MGM, were not as comfortable as they could have been. So what I actually did was I brought a tennis ball. Like I said, I've had a back issue going on for a while. So I brought a tennis ball, and I was able to put it right on the areas where my back hurts. I was able just to press against it. Just a little self-massage trick. So bring a tennis ball, guys. You can just throw that on your carry-on. Bring a tennis ball. You guys will see me with a couple of cross balls probably. So workshops are awesome. You definitely want to bring some type of note-taking utensil, whether it's Evernote, or if it's going to be handwritten. And if they're doing what they did last year, they will be recording the workshop. So for those of you that are not making it to Summit this year, you can actually go through and watch the recordings, usually like 3 or 4 weeks after Summit. And then the last 2 workouts, they're awesome. The one thing I'll say about workouts, especially with 25,000 people, if you want to be up close, you need to show up like an hour and a half, 2 hours early. And I heard that they are not going to let anyone be down, like waiting. I guess it's, I don't know if it's in a field or something, but they're not going to let anyone wait. So if the workout's at 6 a.m., they're not going to let people wait right next door for at 4 a.m. like people do. I mean, there's people who camp out starting at like 2 a.m. They literally bring their pillow down there with them. It's kind of crazy. So workouts, be there about an hour beforehand because it's going to be a line. And the coolest part is, especially with Sean T, is really good about this, is the trainers will come into the crowd and go pretty much all the way to the back.
Yeah.
It's a good and a bad thing, because when you have Sean T come up next to you and put his hands on you, like,
Goodness.
yeah, you reach a whole new level of burn. It's kind of crazy. I mean, Paul knows about that one from last year. So the workouts are awesome. I'm working with Sean T and Sagi. Again, I also do my own workouts, so I'm going to find the closest gym to us. So if anyone wants to hit some extra weightlifting stuff, you guys are more than welcome to tag along. Then the last one is parties. So getting so large, there's not as many parties. So pretty much the one that I can see is still the after celebration party. So Saturday night at, I think it's 7 o'clock. So from 7 to 10 is going to be what's called the Beachbody Challenge, or they used to call it the $1 Million Body Challenge. So that's where they announce the winners on stage. So if you guys have seen the voting stuff going around, the $100,000 thing, these guys are all getting flown up, all the qualifiers. So, and then they announce live right there. So it's pretty cool to watch, because that in particular, I get flashbacks of my first summit. We only had 1,000 people. We all fit in one room. It was crazy. So we had 1,000 people, and then it was the $1 Million Body Challenge. And I'll never forget when they went through the whole process of narrowing down these top candidates, and then they finally announced the winner, who had lost like 200 pounds, and they shared her story, and it was just super powerful. They had the confetti and everything came down, and this was mine and Jason's first summit. We both were in tears, because it was at that moment that we finally realized, like, that is why I do this. That's a life literally transformed. Her life will never be the same because of a coach that had the balls to reach out and say, do you want to join this? Without that coach reaching out to that person, where would they have ended up? Would they have even lived for that long? So I think the Beachbody Challenge is one of my favorite parts, because it just, you see these inspirations that are literally, they're billboards for what we do, for that potential that we have as coaches. So that's Saturday night. And then after that, from 10 to midnight, they host a big after party. And that's the one that's an open invite. They have other qualification stuff. So like if you qualify for the Success Club party or any of these extras. But aside from that, that pretty much covers the event itself. So with it being busy, number 3 is food. Here's 2 things I can tell you. You're not going to eat and sleep very much. You'll see that we have only squeezed in, like, Paul, we only ate like twice a day last year, something like that. We found a Denny's right down the street, which we ate at every day, just because it was like $7 and you get a load up on stuff. So typically you'll eat something after. They usually have like an hour and a half ish after the morning workout. So breakfast is load up on breakfast. Carry protein bars, Quest bars, whatever you want to carry. Carry snacks with you into the workshops and stuff, because they're not going to, be carrying trays of food around for you. So plan ahead. Bring some type of snacks. I'm going to load up on protein bars when we get there. So with food and the house situation, obviously we have a friggin' chef staying with us, and I will trade massage for his cooking. So just an FYI. When we get there, obviously we're not going to go shopping at 10 o'clock at night on Wednesday. I don't know, if we have energy, we might. But I'm thinking Thursday morning, we'll go hit up a local grocery shop and just load up on groceries, the basics. That way we can just make cheap meals at the house. We have a full kitchen to use up, and it's a sweet looking kitchen. So I'll pitch in, I'll be your, what was it? Sous chef. I'll be the sous chef for you. So Paul and I will be whipping up some meals for you guys, but I figured that's going to be the cheapest way to do it. It's going to cost some money up front. I don't mind pitching in a good chunk of that to help out where I can, but it's going to be a good chunk of money to get the groceries up front for 8 people. But by doing that, we're going to save a crap ton of money throughout the rest. So with that, that's going to cover, I don't know if we'll have time during lunch to necessarily get back to the house, but we'll figure it out as we go. I know for sure we can go back and do breakfast at the house, so we'll just plan on doing that, save some money there. And then dinners, I'm friggin' Tennessee. I want to go try some local restaurants. Of course, we'll work within budget. I'm on a budget too. I mean, I found out real quick, babies, they eat up your money. It's just like when you first get married, the wife eats up your money, now it's the baby. So, we'll work out the food situation. You guys aren't going to starve, but you need to plan ahead. There were days, I remember our first couple summits when Jason and I, we went all day without eating because we didn't plan ahead. We didn't bring any food with us, and we only had like 45 minutes in between stuff to go get food. And by the time the wait time was over, you had to be back. So I'll be there. We'll all sit down on day one and map out, okay, here's what we're doing for meals, and go from there. As far as number 4, which is transportation, we're going to have our extra roommate is Alejandro. So he's driving up because he lives in Memphis, Tennessee. So he's going to be driving up. So he'll have a car. And then Kaylee is going to be driving. So she has a car. So I think we can use both of those cars to pretty much do the big commute in the morning to get over to wherever we need to be. But as far as going back and forth, which, I want to go to the gym, I want to do some extra stuff especially because I'm staying till Monday. So I have all day Sunday and all day Monday to pretty much explore. So Uber, if you guys don't know what Uber is, it's like a super cheap taxi service that I've never heard of it because we never had it up in Portland until recently. But when I was down in Dallas, Jason and I would Uber pretty much everywhere we went. We went from our hotel to downtown. It was like a 15-minute drive, 15, 20 minutes. It was like $7. And it's linked directly to my PayPal. So you don't even have to pay anything right there in the cab. You just get in, get out, and you're done. So I'll be, and they do offer an SUV, which I think holds 6 people. So I think between the 2 cars and maybe 1 Uber person, we'll be fine on transportation. So that's going to be linked to my PayPal. So guys, don't worry about that. It's going to be on me. Number 5 is the house itself. Obviously, we've already booked it. So thank you all for working with me, getting your stuff PayPal'd over. I know it's not the funnest thing for me to have to hound people down and say, I need your money. I don't like doing that. But we got the income in time. We got the house booked, and it's friggin' sweet. It's got that rooftop patio area with the little fire pit, which I'm excited for. Everyone knows me and my fire pit. I don't even know what you would call it. Infatuation. Lisa knows, she comes over. So the house itself, it's booked. It's got a 4 bedroom, 3.5 bath?
3.5 bath.
I was reading the description and I couldn't figure out what they meant by it, but they said it's technically like a 4 bathroom. So I guess they have 3 main bathrooms, and then one has a sink and a shower, or sink and a toilet, or something like that. I don't remember, but we have plenty. With 8 people, 4 bathrooms will be fine. So as far as sleeping schedule, obviously those who do need a bed, if you have back issues or for whatever reason, if you absolutely need a bed, you'll get one. If we need to come up with a rotating schedule, we can work that out too. Of course, this is stuff we'll figure out once we get there. Everyone's in one room. We'll all sit down and map out food and then sleeping schedule. But like I said earlier, you're not really going to be sleeping a whole lot. You're going to be up, especially with some of our crazy asses and maybe a little bit of alcohol mixed in with it. We're going to be up to like 1 or 2 in the morning. And then you have to turn around at 5 in the morning, get up and go to your workout. There's not a whole lot of sleep. And as much as you may want to go to bed early, just soak up Summit, guys. We wait all year for this. You paid a lot of money to get there. Soak it up. Be up late. Just have fun. Let loose. And especially for those of us that are coming away from a family, like, what other chance throughout the year do you get just to not have to worry about kids or anything like that? You just get to be you. I mean, it's just 8 of us in one house. It's going to be ridiculously awesome, and I'm so pumped for it. This is something I really wanted to do last year, but Jason and I just never made it happen. So this year I kind of, I took it by the balls, and I told Jason, like, you don't worry about this. I got it. And so I found the house, we booked it, and we're going. So that's kind of Summit 101 based on my experience. It's crazy. It's hectic. You don't get to eat that far out in advance. You don't get to sleep a whole lot, but you know what? It will be the best damn experience of your life, without a doubt. Like I said, I've been to 5, and you would think after 5 summits, I'm like, yeah, it's all the same. You get something different each time. And my biggest tip I can give you, and I'm going to say this again when we get there and we all sit down, you will get out of Summit what you go in for. If you go in just for the fun social aspect, you'll come back making a few new Facebook friends. But you may find yourself still stuck in the business. If you go in with a clear mind and you tell yourself, I want to learn how to do XYZ, that's what you're going to take out of it. Because what you focus on is what becomes reality, right? If you look around you and focus on red objects, all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, there's a lot of red stuff in here that I never noticed before. It's simply because you're focusing on it. And so it literally kind of molds into your reality. So if you go into Summit and you focus on, how do I become a better leader? How do I build a team? How do I sell Shakeology? Whatever you focus on and keep an eye on, look for, you will find it. Every summit I've gone in for something, and I've got it every single time. So if you go in for the social aspect, you're going to make a bunch of friends. You're going to talk to people. You're going to come back. You're going to feel great about your social life. But you may be missing out on the business part. But if you go in with, again, a clear mind, it's like there was a coach I'm good friends with that I met. I've seen this guy in all kinds of events. We took the time management training together up in Seattle. And so I ran into him at the Dallas event. And he's asking me, we've been to a lot of these events. How do you retain more information so much? I said, here's what I do. I sit down, I clear my head. I pretend like I'm a new coach, because after 6.5 years, it's easy for me to say, oh, I already know how to do that. Oh, I already know how to do this and this and this. So what I do is I sit down, clear my head. I pretend I'm a new coach, and I tell myself, I'm going to absorb and apply. Those 2 words right there, absorb and apply. Because if you truly do absorb information and you actually apply it, you're going to get some type of result out of it. A lot of people get stuck here, though, is they absorb it, think about it.
Yeah.
That's it. They get stuck. There's that missing connection from action. Apply it. It's that application that drives results. It's not the thinking about it. You can absorb, we call it personal development jail. These guys who just read all the time. They can post all the quotes in the world, but they're not actually applying anything. And they wonder why they're stuck. Summit can be that turning point that you're looking for. And I can tell you, if you've not been to Summit before, I mean, even Chelsea, for example, you've been in this thing for 5+ years. And I can tell you, you think you know Beachbody? No idea. There's something about it when you go to Summit and it's the combination of hearing Carl Deichler share his passion for his baby that he built into this. It's a combination of just the energy of all of these coaches. I know for me, I think it was like Summit 3, we had 5,000 people. For me to see 5,000 Beachbody people in person, I was like, holy shit. Okay. We are Carl's army, and I'm a part of this now. And can you imagine what 25,000 people in one arena is going to look like? And you can look at that whole arena and say, that's my family. This is my army. Let's go out and freaking kill this mission. I mean, you come back proud to be a coach, and there's no better feeling. So that's my little take on Summit, guys. I've got to get going because I got boot camp to host in 30 minutes. Aside from that, appreciate you guys hopping on the call, taking time out of your evening. I'll post this recording inside the leaders group. If you have any specific questions, message me or drop a comment on this video. Aside from that, guys, peace out, crew. I'll see you guys later. Have a great night, guys.